Hi everybody, it's Christina at Scrapcraft and Stitchery, and what am I doing today? I'm working on the hashtag 50 stack challenge, and I pulled this journal out the other day, and this is a gosh, I didn't even look at all these. Well, let's just flip through this while I'm talking. So I did look at this. I must have started not at the beginning. So sorry, I got distracted. I'm working on the 50 stack challenge, and this week the ones that I'm working on are music, and I think that's 23, I think 23 and 24. So next week we'll get to 25 and 26, and I'll be halfway through the challenge. But today I'm working on music and Christmas card. So that's 23 and 24. And anyway, I was trying to think what I want to do for a Christmas card, and I was going to stamp, but I'm trying to use up book page. Okay, so I'm trying to use up book page, and I found this the other day, and this is what I was going to show you. And this is the Tim Holtz salvaged patina, but I have just this kind of swatch card of the distress ink and the distress spray, and I have it applied wet as well as dry, and this is the Distress Oxide. And I'm not going to use salvage patina, but I was looking back at this, and then this is on the dark, and so I made all these swatches of these things. And aren't these Distress Oxides really cool, especially when you apply these inks onto wet surfaces? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with some of the sprays and inks, the distress inks in, and today I'm going to use Vintage Photo was on my desk with the Uncharted Mariner, and I just kind of thought that was a fun color combination, and so I'm going to play with that today. And then I wanted to add the Speckled Egg because I kind of felt like that was kind of a color that would go possibly with this, and I want to see how they look together. So these are the color combinations, and I think I'm going to include some gold for, you know, festive holiday stuff, and we'll see how much gold. So, and the other thing I've been trying to do is I've been trying to use up some of my book page. So I have all of these book page pieces and bits, and I was thinking it would be fun to collage with these and maybe with some music paper onto another piece of, make a mini masterboard on a piece of book page with some music paper to make my 2 journal cards, because for the 50 stack challenge, of course, I am still doing journal cards. I'm making a 4x6 journal card for each prompt. And I pulled out some gold paint in case I wanted to gold, but I did some gold embossing onto some old music paper, and it came out so pretty. I might get out the embossing powder. I think I already did. I think I went over there and grabbed it. Maybe I didn't find it, and I got distracted and brought other embossing powder over here. Well, anyway, we'll see. I might add some gold paint to this. Just because I think it's nice to have a gold sometimes, or a metallic color. I guess I could use silver. Silver would be pretty with these colors too. Let's see. So I'm probably going to do a Christmas tree is what I'm thinking. Is I'm going to make a background out of these strips, and then I'll add some music paper for music. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the focal point on music yet. But I'm thinking maybe I'll do some stamping for that. I definitely wanted to do some stamping. So I really like, and I want to play with this, and I don't do it very often, really. But I think that the oxides look really cool when they're used onto a wet surface. So I'm just going to spray all this paper with kind of a bit of water. Oh no, now it's all curling up. Of course that's happening. And so I have oxide. Let's make sure this is what I think it is. It's not going to do what I want it to do, you can tell, because paper did not like getting wet, of course. And so I'm just going to go over this, and these are the distress oxides, and I have a piece of I have the distress inks and the distress oxides, and I always think it's best to start with the oxides because they're going to give you a more opaque coverage. Than the inks. I don't necessarily want to cover this completely, but apparently I really like the Mariner, huh? But let's get some color on there. And I've been playing with stuff all day. What's happening? Do we want to spray it with some more water? Why not, right? Is anything happening? Let's make this one kind of, I don't think we have to spray that. See, look at how much different that is. And now I'm mixing them together. I should do swatches for the rest of my inks just because I think it was so much fun to have it for that and to find it later. And of course I've used most of my salvaged patina. Can't speak. Let's spray that on there and see what happens. Right? Okay. I have a very sleepy little kitten next to me. And I'm going to go really lightly over this with this. Ooh, I like that. Can I get it to just kind of splatter? Ooh, yeah. Okay. I like that splattering effect. It's probably going to all kind of spread out because it is still fairly wet, so it's not going to stay. You can see where it's like already kind of soaking in and drying into that. I kind of like blue for the holidays, maybe, so we'll see. And we have these different colors. These are, of course, different. These are kind of more yellow and kind of more brown. Yellow and then kind of more white. And so I've been playing with a lot of book pages. So I have a lot of like where I pulled just tons of like scraps off. I need to wait for these things to dry really good. And then I'll have to decide what exactly I want to do. I do need to incorporate the music, so I don't know if I want to like cut that into strips. Because then that gives me options. I could like weave this. I don't know if that's what I'm going to do. I'm probably just going to glue these down straight. And I did want to incorporate the vintage photo as well, but I don't have a spray for that, so I'm going to have to decide. Make some decisions. Once I get this dried, I'm going to probably do a collage and then add a Christmas tree for Christmas card, and I might make two. Since I'm doing journaling cards, I'm probably going to do one of those, but I do need to make at least one Christmas card. So I'll decide if I'm going to make 1 or 2 Christmas cards because I want to send one to someone. And then, yes. So I was just watching, I will put this here. So I was just watching Coalita's Creations, who I follow, and I watch her things sometimes. And she was talking about one of her friends who's on a road to 3,000 subs journey, and she's doing a challenge, which is closes on December 15th, and I was going to do that, and I was not subbed to her, so I was kind of excited because she's getting close to 3,000. So go over to Tanya's page, and it's at Sidekick Creations if you see this, and give her a sub and help her get to 3,000 because I think that that's really super exciting. So I'm making a Christmas card and an ATC card to send to her for her journey, and she's doing a giveaway. So if you send her a Christmas card and a ATC card, she'll put you in to win prizes. And I mean, it's like a gift card. So do check that out if you're interested. And I will put that also once I'm done here and I can take a picture. I will put that on my community page too, so you get a chance to see it sooner rather than whenever I get this posted. So I wanted to let you know about that. That's exciting. I'm going to dry this stuff so I can move along with getting this done. Okay, so I'm back. I have dried these enough. More and more, I'm thinking I kind of want to go find silver rather than gold to go with this. So, just because I think blue and silver is going to be really, really pretty and kind of the right way to go for this. So, I think like just these colors, kind of the way that they're going. Oh my gosh, it's so yummy. Oh my gosh, I love this, where the spray is. Okay. Yeah, I like this a lot. I think that this is very good, very good. I really feel like I should go and, yeah. So, I have not decided. I think I got these in Happy Mail. I have these music pages, and I think I got a bunch of Happy Mail recently, and I think this kind of came from the Happy Mail that I got, and they're just printed sheets of paper on one side, so these aren't book pages, and kind of cool. And I have a whole bunch of these. And I kind of wish I could remember where I got them. So it was either that, and I'm actually thinking that I might have gotten these at a craft exchange that I was a part of. Okay, so, but I have a ton of these, and I might cut them down and use them in the background collage that I'm about to do. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, just to kind of make this a little bit consistent, is just cut this into strips like this is. So then I need to decide if I want to spray them or in some way add some vintage photo. I don't know. Look at how gorgeous this is. I love that like spot right there. Okay. And I'm gonna love this when they're all together, I think. Okay. So this is what this pile of things is of course, is like margins of the books, the book pages that I've been using for crafting. And I've just been tearing them down with a ruler. So I think that's what I'm going to do for music. And like I said, I haven't really decided on, beyond doing the collage and using this music page, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do. I haven't decided yet on a focal point, but I do think is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a couple of just collage, basically like master boards. Oh, I was gonna tear that bottom piece off of this music page. Or scraps. As I'm trying to use up your scraps, if you ever feel like as a junk journaling person that as you're using up scraps, don't you ever just feel like you're making more scraps? And the answer is all of the time. I notice that I just use up a whole bunch of these, right? Just I'm making up ways to use these up and then generating more as I go along. So, you know, it's a never-ending cycle. It just never ends. We have an endless array of materials. Okay, now is what I've been thinking about while I've been doing this, and I'm going to leave that one because these are all different sizes, is what I was going to do. And I think I'm going to use this as my background to glue all of these pieces together. And I think I'm just going to glue these on to this page in strips. And then I'm going to cut the edges off. Again, making, as I was saying, just an endless amount of more and more and more strips. And I do think I'm going to spray this lightly with some of these colors just to kind of get these things to blend in so it's not like a stark contrast with my other pages. I do think, I feel like that everything I'm going to be doing in the next year or so is going to center and focus around trying to do everything on book pages and involving book pages. Kind of feel like right now we'll see how far I can get this to go, but I also feel like I have enough book pages that I can probably go on for the rest of my life doing book pages. Like I have a lifetime supply of book pages just on hand right now. So I'm gonna see how long that holds out. If I can just keep going for the rest of my life, and if I can, then that's great. Or I'll probably get bored and move on to something else, no doubt. Knowing me, I'm surprised I'm not moving on and being bored already. I kind of like this color. I like the lighter color. And I have completely sprayed that much more than I thought. Did I say light? Oh, I didn't mean that. I take it back. I was just going to use the inks. Say, Lovey, let's dry this and see how it looks when it's dry. Look at how blue this is. Look at how green this is. This is crazy. There's so much like color variation in this, like just between the within the oxide itself, there's just so much. And then this is so blue. That's got to come from the Uncharted Mariner, but it's also so light. But that's also the Uncharted Mariner? Where is this blue coming from? Is that from the speckled egg? Because I feel like that's kind of more like this blue-green. I am gonna make both my cards in these colors on the same background. So I think that this page, these are the size of my cards, which I will attach this and I'll leave kind of a border. I chose these two cards because I felt like they would look good with these colors. I don't know, I thought this one would match a little bit better. I think that one goes all right. Anyway, so I'm gonna put this and make a master board, and then I'll cut this down and I'll have a border around the edge of my journal card, which will be a Christmas card. And I'm gonna do this because I want the music to be upright in this. Yes, I think this will work. And I'm just gonna do this in strips, in like long strips. So is why I'm saying this is because then if I do this way and I put all the strips on this way, then I'll have a background going across here that when I cut this, if I do it sideways like this rather than like this, these will go onto my cards like this, and all of my formats are like portrait formats. So this will be up and down long ways, because I was thinking I could also make them sideways. Anyway, thinking ahead to what I'm actually doing. I love working on these deli papers because I can save this and use this later, because I love the way this is like kind of, just love the way this ink looks on here. And I could even not glue these things down exactly. I'm gonna put all this down with a glue stick. So I'm gonna probably speed up this process and not talk all the way through it. Although right now I might continue to talk, because the question is, before we start gluing anything down, we could also kind of paint this or do something with this. I don't know. But the question is, do we want to ink the edges of this to make it stand out? And I think the answer to that question is, yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. And I'm going to leave the bottom edge because that part I'm going to cut off. So I'm not going to ink all the way to the bottom. Just I think where I'm gluing. Do I want to go through and just ink all of these? So I am going to go ahead and ink all of these. I might ink some of them in Ancient Mariner, and I might ink some of them in the vintage photo and try, because I did want to include the vintage photo. I think it'll be really pretty with these colors, and to just kind of add a little bit of a neutral warm color to these cool colors. Why not mix our colors, our neutrals and our cools, right? This one looks like the moon. I love like that spot right there and that spot right there. And that's how I learn. Sometimes I like to copy something, just straight up copy it, and sometimes, and then after I've done that a couple times, then I like to kind of pick out the things that I've learned and I can make it my own. Because that's what works for me. So I like it when I don't have to struggle to design something because that's a lot of work, honestly. It's what I've come to decide, and that's kind of I don't know. That was kind of like what I've been thinking about this week. Based on the things that I've been watching on YouTube, I think repetition is very, very good. One of the Zentangle teachers, and what the heck is her name? I think her name is Maria Arrington Art. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have a whole slew of. I'm gonna have to listen to this whole thing, and put links in the bottom. But she does Zentangle, and she's doing Oh My Gorgeous, which is one Zentangle every day in November, and posting it. And I think that's fabulous because it's so great to repeat something over and over and over and over again, because you kind of become this expert on it, and to watch her like progression and how complicated this simple tangle is becoming, and how many different ways she can do this one Zentangle is really cool. And I really like it when I can find the mental capacity to repeat something. Well, I already know which side is the side, and I like, this is problematic. Isn't it? Okay, I like that side. And so, you know what? Even though I've inked the other side, I'm using the side that I like. And I feel like that's going to be a problem with most of these, but both sides are kind of already inked, so it's fine. But I'm going to struggle with this, so watch out for that. And I'm probably going to speed this up at this point and really stop talking, and come back unless I have something really profound to say. But I think I'm done. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody who watches. Honestly, I could not really be here without you. So, a huge thanks. Okay, so I have completed this, and I just have to say this is absolutely stunning, and I love it so much. I just think it's so pretty. So now is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back and I'm just gonna cut off these edges, and some of them are still really sticky, but I'm just gonna grab a pair of scissors and go down the line and make this, just cut these off and put them into my pile of things I can use for collage. Oops, got a little bit onto the page. And I'm gonna leave that edge for the most part kind of the way that it is. And wow, I am super happy with this. Is just a fascinating thing to look at. Okay, and I'm not gonna cut that off even though I could. Some of these are gonna be really sticky, and some of them are, I tried to, as I was going, to not glue all the way to the bottom of these, so hopefully they're all stuck down. But loving this so far. Now the question is, what do we do next with it? There's just so much, like the yellow. Some of these papers just changed the inks so much that it's, because I had at least 2 different book pages going on, and then the music paper was a different one, different kind of a paper, and they've all just kind of changed. Like this really white one looks very different than this very yellow one. So I think it's just really interesting. And then there's like this green, which probably came out because I was using water and my hands are absolutely gross. Okay. But at the same time, are we having fun or what? Okay. What I think I was going to do with this next is, this is kind of my master board. So I have the opportunity right now, before I cut this into more pieces, to kind of decide if I want to add anything to this. And I've already recognized the fact that I want to add something kind of sparkly and silvery and fun, because I mean, this is gonna be, oh, there's my gold. I went looking for this earlier as my gold embossing powder, and it's been stuck back there. I kind of clean up and then I go on to something else. So what I did find when I was in my drawer looking for the gold embossing powder, which I just had, was this. I've been using this kind of a lot recently, and now I have glitter stuck all over my fingers because my drawer has glitter spilt in it. So this is Pearl X Radiant Pearls, the original. I don't even know if you can get these anymore, but it has, this has glitter all over the outside of the bottle. Sorry, I just keep getting totally and completely distracted. So I'm giving it a good shake because it kind of all settles down to the bottom. And what I'm thinking is I could get out I'm just going to add this kind of randomly in places to this. I could get out a stencil and do it with a stencil, but I think I'm just going to add this to the background. And then I do think I am going to do some embossing, but I'll probably do that on one or the other. While I was doing this, I was also kind of thinking, I do have a stencil that's a music stencil. I think it's too big. It's like a face, And then the woman's hair is like music notes and things like that. And she's singing. And it's just a woman's face in profile. And it's kind of a cool stencil. And I have used it before. So this is going to give this, I feel like glitter all over this now, which is fine. This is going to just add a little bit of shimmer wherever I actually put it. So I am gonna just add this in some places, not everywhere, because I feel like a little bit might go a long way. It's my plan. Shimmer. Random bits of shimmer. And I am sure you probably can't see. Oh, there you can. That's gonna be more dry. I imagine it's probably like when everybody's like showing like Wink of Stella that they've added to things and they're just like, yes, and you have to go, yes, I see that you probably did add that. So we'll keep this out. We might add more as we go along. Maybe I should have saved this more for like a finishing touch. I do have this in other colors. I think I have a blue. I think it's out on my desk. There's green. There's this one, but I feel like this is Whisper Blue, but I feel like it's more purpley than I really want to use with the colors that I have, right? Although it might not come out that purple. Let's do a test corner. I think that would work, and it would work because it's going to just kind of fade in to the colors you already have. Whereas this kind of turned a little bit green, probably because of the background colors. I also got this originally, I think, because I was adding it to, I had some dragonfly stamps, and I wanted to use it for the wings to just kind of give it that little bit of iridescence. Oh yeah, it looks so good. Okay. Yeah, you can definitely see it. Okay, I like that. That's very cool. Like I said, if you have Wink of Stella, which I don't have, I know a lot of people have been using that, so you could definitely do something like that. I like this. This kind of is reminding me of like a forest of trees, especially with those musics. The music sheets in there look like trees, and then the rest of it looks like maybe sky behind. Great. Okay. What else can I get all over my hands today, guys? Oh, you know you're having a good day when you're just like layered in glitter. Like I am layered in glitter and shimmer right now. What a happy day. I'm gonna throw this into, we might come back to that, is the only thing, and I would probably actually go with the Whisper Blue rather than this other one, because that other one is turning everything kind of green, which I mean is not a bad thing. Oh, it's got a lot of shimmer once it dries too. Fantastic. So I've gone through the box. And I have white embossing powder, which is pretty safe. I have these, which are just glass beads. These are tiny glass beads, and I don't feel like I really have a way to put these micro beads down. These are kind of fun if you put them in like a shaker box. There's also kind of something has gotten in there, some little black dust, so it's not quite as fun. I have this, which is Ranger Pearlescent Powder, and this would be very fun to pair. Well, I'll just show you quickly. I've done this before on another. That's still wet, you know, just in case we wanted it. I don't want a wet brush, I want a dry brush. I need a dry brush for this. But I can use the Versamark, or I probably could use, let's see, I don't know what would happen if we did this. I'm going to use the Speckled Eggs Distress ink. Is this ink? Okay, never mind. I thought this was Distress Oxide. Distress Oxide is a little bit more like thick. But I don't want to use this. I'm going to put the Versamark on. If you've never used Versamark, it is a watermark stamp pad, but it it makes it a little bit sticky. So you saw me do the embossing with this just now. So it's a little bit sticky, so things will stick to this. And this is like a Radiant Pearl, I think is what it's called. And this is by Ranger, and you can get these in like Pearl-X powders and things. And you can get these in a whole bunch of different colors. And so if I put that over the Versamark, it'll pick that up. So I could do this on my card, and that would be really, really pretty, and give it just a tiny little bit of shimmer. So that's one option, which I like. I also feel like this is going to be, I mean, on here it's already kind of a little bit, oh, it's so pretty. It's just pretty. Okay, I love these things. It's subtle. That is subtle. But it looks like snowflakes, doesn't it? And it kind of gives a little bit of shimmer. We've already added shimmer. We're doing shiver. We're doing believe. I do think that because a lot of this is lighter in color, I think that's going to be very subtle on that. I think it's going to be very subtle. Do we have a test? Yeah, we do. Okay. Let's test it on here just to see. You know? So already, I mean, what the Versamark does, it just makes things a little bit darker, like it's a water stamp. Or, you know, like it's a watermark. So you can see where this is on here. And then we can stick things to it, like our embossing powder, or this. Paint it on. Did I get it any place where it was like really light? Yeah, this might be the way to go. Because I also have the white embossing powder. Okay, so how about we do that over the background of this? And then okay, we're gonna do that one, and then we're gonna see what we think, and if we want to, we can add a few more in the white embossing powder so we have like a layered effect. I think that is a potential way to go with this, because I really do like, I don't know if you can see that. It is subtle and it's so beautiful. All right, we have shimmered this card up. Okay, can you see this? I can barely see it, so yeah. It's just shimmery everywhere, and I don't know if you can see it. I can see it, I can. There you go. It is subtle, where you can see that, and it is covering like the whole background of this card. Okay, so we have that, and I think is what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna stamp over and use the white embossing powder. And if I get really, really brave, I might try a little bit of this glitter added in with it. If I'm feeling really, really brave. And see what happens, because I'm not even sure that's going to work. And so I'm going to stamp Believe, and I'm going to stamp the snowflakes again, so I have layers of the stamp going on. And first, before I do any of that, I'm going to just clean this off and get off any excess of that powder, because it's like everywhere at this point. I'm a mess. I am having fun here. I like the way this feels now. Well, we have put many layers onto here, so let's just kind of keep going. I really like it. Oh, okay. Pretty. Okay. I've turned into the Tin Man. Let's try it again. Maybe I'm gonna stamp Believe first. And I'm gonna put it kind of down here in this corner. And then, can I see that? No, not really. Okay. And then, because when I go back to stamp this, I don't want it to get into there. So, I'm gonna stamp these here. Don't know if it matters. Just trying to decide how much of this I want to stamp in the white, because maybe I don't want to do quite as much as I did in this silver. Or maybe I want to do more. I don't know. Let's just go for it. We're going for it. When have we not just gone for it? Okay, let's try the white. We have sparkles. We have all kinds of stuff. It's so pretty. It is so pretty so far. I am just loving the way this is coming out with this just slightly iridescent. And I do think this is a good choice. Why we're putting a lid on this. It smells like crayons. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's gonna be so pretty. I hope it didn't all stick. Okay. It's all stuck everywhere. Oh no. I'm gonna be very upset if it is actually all stuck. I shouldn't be joking. Okay. Well, now we get to get out this. And see if we can't get off some of this embossing powder from where we don't really want it. Although maybe it's okay. Maybe that's just gonna add to it. You know? At some level, it's just gonna add to it. I think is what happened is the card is not, actually this paper is not completely dry from whatever we've done to it. And where I was working stuff into the crevices. I do think that it's stuck everywhere I had that Versamark. Maybe not, because like it's not stuck there. But it did stick to part of that one. Eek. Okay, I'm gonna try this and just see what happens. And I think that might just be what it looks like, no matter what. So, here we go. I like this a lot, though. One of these days, this whole thing is just gonna go up in my hand. I know, it's just gonna go up in my hand. Okay, well, so first of all, I really, really like this. And is it perfect? No. So I think what happened was in some places the embossing powder still stuck to the where I had put the Versamark and done the powder, and it stuck in some places, but not like, I mean, here it didn't, and here it didn't, but in other places it did. So probably what I could have done differently is I probably could have dried it before I put that on. But nonetheless, I wanted it to look like snow, and I think it looks a little more, I don't know, grungy or messier than I wanted it to, because I wanted the white to go on top of the silver and be kind of distinct. And in like a lot of these places, it's kind of all mixed in, and I couldn't get into all of these spaces, and I could have gone slower and kind of done one bit at a time. But I'm gonna call that what it is. It's not perfect, but I still really, really like it. Like, I mean, here it definitely didn't stick, and here it only stuck on half. So yeah, I think that the thing to do would have been to probably have just done to have like dried it really good in between and just hit it with the heat gun, but I didn't. And I really, really like, I mean, I love this shiny part where I put the 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 Radiant Pearls. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. I just love how shiny this is, and the way that it's like kind of come together. Okay, so there's that, and all I'm going to do with this is I am going to put this down on this card, and then this will be a back, and this will be, I'm calling Christmas card, because it is a journaling card and it can be used at Christmas. And I think I'm gonna leave the back of this blue for now. I could, of course, I don't know, should I add something to that? I'm gonna put this aside and me come back to this. I could add the tree. I might scrap the tree for now. I'm not really sure, because I decided to go in another direction. So I'm gonna add that and think about it. And I now have everything everywhere. Okay, I need to stop and clean up. Three hours. We are at 3 hours. All in all, I love this card. I love this card, and I love this. I love that right there. Okay, and I love just the way the blues go. right, guys, I am gonna try and turn out this. I have this, and this is Music Girl, and try and use this stencil maybe for the next part. I was just looking back at some things where I had done a piece of art but anyway, I love this stencil. I think it's a really cool stencil. Let's try and use it for our next journal card, shall we? If we put that on there, well, if we just put this on here, I mean, it's going to cut off some of her hair. Where do we want that? Okay. Maybe what I have done with the past with this is used this with a yeah, I think that's gonna go like that. Okay, so I should have put something down underneath this, but that's okay, I suppose. What color do we want this to be? We could have it be blue. We could have this be the Uncharted Mariner. I think is what we want to do is use the oxide, because that's going to make this fairly dark. And I do think maybe we want to go dark with that. Just saying. Let's do that. I am really kind of curious. That's going to be very dark. And I think that's going to do a good job with this stencil. Perhaps. Okay. So I'm gonna just pounce on that maybe a little bit. Okay. How is that looking? So that looks like it's been stenciled on there. So what I was thinking I wanted to do was, now, I think is what I might wind up doing is I think I might spray this a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay? Okay. I'm a little bit worried because what I'm afraid is going to happen is it's going to like run underneath this stencil and kind of cause it to run. So I'm kind of being careful here. I don't want to totally saturate this, but I do kind of want to get that wet. And that's not what I wanted to have happen at all. I do want this to be visible. I can see like her head there. I wonder if I can put this back down now. Now that I've picked it all the heck up, okay, put it back down. That's not gonna be great. I'm gonna just go get a paper towel. I'm just playing around, honestly, at this point. It's been a day. I am going to pick up a lot of that ink. So now I was thinking maybe I want it to be kind of interesting. That's what I want, honestly, right? That's what we really, really want, is for this to be fairly interesting. I like to use a different color for this. You're killing me here. I'm gonna go get some washi tape too, and I'm gonna put this stencil down with some washi tape because I kind of want to play around with this a little bit more, and I want to keep it from moving any more than it already has. Because I'm not done. I am not done. So I might play with washi tape later. Okay. Just put that down. See if we can get that to stick. Okay, I'm gonna get my other dauber for this blue color because I have a dauber for a separate one for the oxide, because I think the oxide gets this a little bit, it's a lighter kind of a color. And now I'm just going to kind of fill this in with this. Ooh, quit moving that. It's really not what we want to do. And I kind of went over all of it, and I maybe kind of could have just gone over the ones on the edges, but hey, you know, and then again, maybe, I do think one thing you can do is kind of flick the water like that, so that it's going to get into more like droplets. I want to try and pick this up on a separate page. See what happens if we smoosh this. Maybe something cool will happen. Pick up the extra. See? Look at that. That's kind of cool. Is it not? Do you not love that? I kind of love that so much. That's wild. That is absolutely fantastic. And now I think just one last thing is I want to put some of the glitter iridescence on here. I almost kind of want to put another oh, okay. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place today. Am I not? I put everything away last night because I was kind of like, oh, we'll be done with this soon. I just saw some blue, signed gray. I could add some gray ink over the top of this, but it would be very wet. I think is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of this. And this is the angel wings, and this should give us just a suggestion of some ooh, that's got, this is really old. It's very green. Okay. Gonna put a bit heavier over here on her. Edge around the hair. I'm gonna leave it kind of less so in the middle. Okay. I'm doing all of this and I don't know what you guys are going to actually be able to see. I should have put this through a stencil, through the stencil. That could have been cool. Okay. Oh no. Okay. Let us pull this up and see what we have and see if we like it. It is, all that glitter shimmer is very subtle. That's for sure. Hi, Jim. This is Graham the cat. We call him Graham for short. That's my Graham, yes. I mean, I already put that down over here, so it looks like, I mean, this is all this big patch over here. And here, that's where I mainly put that. So, and then I put it through the stencil on her. So it just looks like it's blending in. Is that enough to say we're done? I wonder if I should use this on the back. I also wonder if I should just use this as the front. This says music. The music had released him. He was not so angry anymore. Wild. Okay. That's cool. Okay. Let me dry this. Sorry, Jim. It's okay, baby. He doesn't like the smell of it. I like her. She looks kind of like a mermaid with the green sparkles. I think I might seal this with some just varnish really quickly. I'm going to go over this very quickly with a little bit of gloss medium and varnish. Good grief. What do I have? I have this really gross paintbrush that I can use to just paint this down. And mainly I'm just kind of worried about this kind of sticking down all the way. And also I want to make sure that these kind of seal this stuff in. This is the card from yesterday, and I'm going to do kind of the same thing with the extra. Is that picking that up? Oh. That's kind of making it run. I probably got it a little bit wetter than I should have with this. Okay, so what I have with this right now, and her, I kind of lost some of her profile, I feel like, into that very dark, it just kind of smeared out. But also I feel like this is like more defined somehow. Wildly. What about the green? It still looks like down here, like it's still there. I love this color, and I love like the layers of it. I think it's really pretty. Okay. Now I'm really trying to realign that with that. Okay. Hi, Jim. Jimmy Bimmy Bo Bimmy. B5 Bo Bimmy. Go Remy. So I have this, and I don't know where my pencil sharpener might have gone, but I can find it. So this is just a white Stabilo pen. This one has a little bit more. What I'm gonna do is see. this varnish is still, this gloss medium is still a little bit wet. Let me go back on the back of her just a little bit to outline where she's at. Okay. I do think she's kind of just disappearing as we speak. I do think that there's a little bit of blending that's going on in here. And also, I feel like I might just be okay with that. Oh, I really love this. It feels so cool. Okay, I am gonna leave this alone and I'm just gonna call it a little bit. Like that. So I am going to put this down on here. So I'll just cut this down, or is what I might do is wrap that around. I might wrap that around onto the side to create a border. And for music, for the journal card part of this on the back, I might just tear that off. I'm not really sure. What's the best way to do this? This is still wet. I'm a little bit afraid to tear it or cut it. Okay, I'm gonna tear this. I'm gonna be brave. Okay, so that'll leave that, and I'm just gonna leave that as the front. I really like how this looks. So I'm gonna put that on the front of this card like that, and then for the back, I have, oh, you know what, could be fun. This is music paper, so it's just lined with music scales. And I have a couple of these. I was just looking at this. This is kind of cool. I wonder if I could do it like a pencil rubbing of this. We're gonna try it. What color? Blue. As if that's even a question. So Okay, well, I'm gonna use that because I'm just in a weird kind of mood to do things like that. Okay. This is really cool paper. I found this like at a thrift shop, I think, and I've bought some more on thrift books. If you want to take a look, you might be able to find music notebook paper. Just kind of one of those things to keep your eyes peeled for, and it just makes nice kind of lightly lined paper to journal on too, so it's kind of cool. I wonder what would happen if I have a guitar stamp, which I could put on here as well, which I might too, just to kind of give this a little bit of something extra. Let me go see if I can find my guitar really quick. Sorry, I'm not very prepared today. I got it and I'm using it, and I'm gonna stamp this in this like lighter speckled egg color, I think. I feel like that's not attached that great. I'm gonna that's cool. Hello, my Twoogie Boogie Woogie Bear. Got kisses. You smell like candy. Thank you.
Sorry, I love you.
I love you too. So I kind of got called away, but I finished this card. So this is music, and I think it came out. I love how this paper came out with the sprays and the I think it's just really pretty. And this is what I finished. So I took a piece of, this is music notation paper for writing music. And I used I did a pencil rubbing of that. You can write over the top of this, but it's very kind of nice. It's got the music notes. I put a guitar, because I had a stamp of a guitar. And I just used a strip to make a border over here. So that is music. That is number 23, and number 24 is Christmas card, and I'm having a Christmas journal card, and I used that same paper, which is so pretty, and it's got the stamp Believe, and it's got these stamps which didn't really come out the way that I wanted. There's a piece of glitter, kind of just stuck. Maybe I should put a little glitter on here. This is like really big glitter, so you can glue it down individually. I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. So there's that. Again, I mean, just this paper, the way that it came out, I really love. Oh, I dropped it. I haven't finished the back of this. But this is my Christmas journal card. And I'm going to show you envelope because I don't know what happened to my video for this last week. I may find it and then I can show it to you how I made it. So for envelope, I made an envelope, and it's actually, or a journal card out of, it's kind of an envelope format. I had a lot of fun doing this. I glued 2 book pages together and just tore off the margins because I'm trying to use that book page again. And I just put in some coffee dyed. I have these stencils that just have different words that are associated with, I think this is like science or specimen. Maybe it's a detective kind of a thing or evidence-based thing. So, and then I made this cool pocket on the back of here that's like a gusseted pocket. And there is, I was kind of thinking this is kind of a scientific Discovery. So this is a little tiny book. It's got a tab and some graph paper, but there is a secret in here, which we're never going to get out again, because I kind of felt like this was a secret evidence. There's a top secret beetle evidence in here. It's a secret. That's a secret. Nobody will ever find that again, so you're very lucky. And then there's just a little piece of paper from a notebook that has evidence that goes in there as well. And those things kind of tuck into this pocket. It's a very generous large pocket. I really like that. I had used a DNA stencil to kind of decorate the outside of this. And I just have some science paper that I made. This is made from a science book, so it's got some science print on it. Anyway, so that was envelope. So I did do envelope. I don't know if I find the video, I will post it later. If I don't find it, then you can see it here. Anyway, a little bit different than the other journal cards that I've made, but that's, okay. It's kind of what I wanted to do. I'm going to make some more envelopes like this anyway, so I will be using this probably to make a video on how I made this. Just because it was really fun, and I really like the way that it came out, and so there is that. And that wraps up my cards. I'm just going to quickly finish this. I'll use this music paper on the back of this as well. I know that these two are kind of like really the same, but sometimes I like to do two that are really just alike. Sometimes makes it a little bit easier for me, that is for sure, if I don't have to design two wildly different things. For this, and I can kind of reuse the same things, or make one paper and get two uses out of it. And I really enjoyed working with this. And I have a whole bunch left. I have the tree that I made. And just a whole bunch of little odds and ends and bits and pieces that I should sit down and use up now. So thank you so much for joining me and for watching today. And I really appreciate you and staying all the way and watching till the end, because YouTube likes that. Be sure, if you haven't already, to subscribe to my channel for more fun makes. And I intend to finish the rest of these my journal cards, so please, I hope you're interested in coming back and seeing what kind of techniques we can pull out and use to make these journal cards, and see what you're making for this, whether it's, how different they can be. And I'm going to sign off of here and let you go, and hopefully kind of clean my desk up a little bit before I start the next thing. Or I could just go straight into making more envelopes, maybe. I'm going to put this down as well, and then I'm just going to call this done. See, I'm using up all of my little bits and pieces. I'm gonna get there. It's just a lot, This was all just a bunch of, margins from books. So, using it all up. And look at how pretty it is. Okay. kind of like that idea. Let's do that too. We'll make a double strip border. Okay. There we go. Okay. There you go. So, that's great. 2 more journaling cards. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. The next one will be 25 and 26, and that'll be halfway through this challenge. So, we are getting there. I will maybe flip through my stack, the first half of my stuff, next time, so you can see that. Bye-bye!